talking about how he went on a first date with a lady.
Yeah.
And he said that
taste in my mouth.
it went terrible. I was like, how bad could it go? Like, it was just the first date. And he was like, she's mad because I blocked her after she said that she doesn't believe in birds.
Oh, she's one of those people
Yeah.
that the government creates birds as spy bots and stuff.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
I've caught and killed many, and they're not robots.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Can confirm. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what do you
I
think
used to-
chickens are? Because I eat a lot of chickens.
I eat a lot of chicken.
You could just pluck a bird and know that's not true.
Yeah.
They're easy to catch, relatively.
Yeah.
Throw some water on them; they stay outside.
Yeah, they have bird baths. What? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Is it robots shitting on my car?
I mean, seriously,
Is this nano shit?
obviously, it's an easy thing to dispel, but I'm personally offended. I fucking love birds.
They're so
That's like my
fun.
favorite creature.
They're fun to like study and look at.
Yes.
Get a bird feeder.
They look
Yeah, and, like,
hilarious.
They're pretty.
Yeah.
They sing.
Oh my god! When I was dating Caitlin, like we had a bird feeder in her backyard, and we would just sit out there for hours, and like we would just watch them fly up, and we're like, "Oh, which one's that?" I get why people do it. It is a very fun pastime.
Birds
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah, birds are cool.
So I'm saying this. God made birds because they're still around, and there's a lot of them. And humans made planes that fly, which are like robots that fly, and they're to this day bad.
Notoriously.
So
Yeah, we're not killing the game
pretty
at
sure
flying.
that we're not making birds.
Just Boeing birds just exploding out of nowhere.
Birds never had to kill a whistleblower.
I did not where you go. I didn't know where you're going with that at first, and that was a good payoff.
Could you imagine like an owl sitting outside of your window on a bridge, just the head's spinning around and just explodes?
Shit, they're not supposed to get wet. That's bad design. That's on me.
How much was that contract?
Anybody who doesn't believe in birds also asks the question, where do squirrels go during hurricanes?
They die.
Yeah. They're in trees, and the trees either get pulled out by the roots or they don't.
Or they don't. Like,
What
Right.
does happen to squirrels during hurricanes?
they just
They put
go-
on a little rain slicker, and they're like, "Oh, better hide the nuts."
Now, just imagine they like lash themselves to like the crux of the tree. You know, not the branches, but like the
Like
They
the
get
trunk.
a software update before the storm hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
crotch. Of it, as they
The
say.
crotch of the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trussy,
Yeah,
if you will.
if you will. Again, science. Sorry.
Not to get too technical on you guys.
Pierce, would you mind opening up with the story for that you've?
I was going to say, by the
Yes.
way, welcome to Murder Schmurder.
Welcome to Murder
Schmurder.
We have
Hell
a very,
yeah.
very special guest with us today. All the way from South Kakalaki is our best friend in the whole wide world, Pierce Roberts.
Boom, boom, boom.
No last name? Sorry.
No last name. Pierce, please.
Pierce in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this as a shameless plug. I'm trying to blow up my videos on Instagram, and my
And
handle
TikTok.
on
Yeah, what's that handle?
Instagram is Pierce Rauhurst. So you
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Pierce
Synergy.
Pierce, say my name.
And that's ROUWHORST.
not Rauhorst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
This guy,
spelled like Rauhorst.
if you guys love
Rauhorst.
if you guys love cooking videos, if you guys love cute little
toddlers.
kids, this is the page for you. He teaches you how to cook.
Wait, are you cooking
And-
babies?
Oh, yes.
And
Okay, cool.
And
Pierce's
cooking with babies.
sous chef is his lovely 2-year-old daughter Rue.
The
Shout out to
cutest.
Hoy.
Who
She
I
is
have,
adorable. I saw a picture today.
I have
Very
adopted
cute.
as my little niece. She is adorable.
Anybody needs a wingman, she's available for $500 a night.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a good side hustle.
If you want to up your Tinder profile, like get a picture with this baby.
Do
Dude.
that, pull the Big Daddy. You know what I mean? Like she gets lost at the park. Sorry, air quotes for listeners. And then you go running up. Say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." You know.
Jesse and I could die on a ski trip, and then you guys can just be the great
Air quotes
grandparents.
anyway.
I'm sorry. She only talks to beautiful women. Hi, I'm Uncle Joseph.
No, you gotta name her as yours. It's like, I remember her. She only talks to beautiful women because that's her mother was just so beautiful, and then she's gone now. Anyway, hi, I'm Jamie.
Oh my God, what happened to your wife?
I don't like talking about it. Well, if I did have to talk about it, I'd like to talk about it over dinner. Maybe Tuesday night?
Was it cancer?
No, she got dick to death. 'Cause I got such good dick.
But I've learned to control it.
7 o'clock?
We got any other uncles in the house?
We got drunk
Yeah, I'm an
Austin
uncle.
over here.
Yeah, everybody here is an uncle.
Well, introduce yourselves, you fools.
Oh, shit. That's what.
That's what
He's
he's
serving it up.
See,
Yeah,
I see what you're doing here. That was
Nice.
clever. And we
Thanks.
I fell
we
off
let
that,
you down, buddy.
That's
We
all
let you
right.
down.
It was clever and none of us caught it.
I fell off that segue so hard.
Right. And if you're not all too familiar with this motherfucking voice, it's your boy Austin.
Uncle Jamie here.
Uncle Grant here. Or as my
I'm not your boy
nephews
Austin.
call me.
I'm Unky Austy.
Unky
That's what we decided yesterday when we were hanging out.
Nice. As my nephews call me, Funkle.
Funko.
The younger one doesn't quite have the N in there just yet. So
Hell
Fuckle.
yeah.
Fuckle
he calls
uncle.
me Fuckle
Fuckle.
very loudly. When his older brother's playing soccer games, I try and go. And the little will come running up to me like, Fuckle! Fuckle!
Keep saying it, kid.
And the parents are like, huh? It's pretty great.
Yeah, that's our nickname. We came up with that.
Alone together.
Oh boy.
Just kidding. Little kids are gross.
Dude, that's like,
the one guy that has a kid. That was a very specific laugh you had there.
They are though, right?
They
They're
get
gross as
nasty.
hell.
Yes,
Yeah, they're
they,
gross
they,
as hell.
She has an ant bite on the bottom of her foot, and it just keeps opening. And she likes to run around and play in dirt. So we have consistently been cleaning that out, and it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
So I'm
What is
also a
it?
doctor. It's
What's-
just an ant bite,
An ant bite? Like,
Like a fire ant.
like a fire ant.
how
bite.
bad is that?
It's not bad. It just kind of swelled up a little bit,
It's
and
got
then,
the little baby skin.
and then it burst. And then since it burst, it started to become another little pus, and then it burst again.
Right.
I don't want to get into it. It's nasty. They're gross.
Yeah, I mean, if you run around in like dirt, you can get infected.
So
But if you just run around in dirt a little bit, you'll just build your immune system, which is what I did.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that like
You got to find the right balance of dirt.
you got to rub it in. If you run around, it's
Yeah.
the wrong you're not getting the right dirt. You need
Yeah.
to rub it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then drink from the hose.
Yeah.
It prevents allergies.
yeah. Be
Yeah.
careful about worms too. Ringworm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be
Like,
having no
my
wormy
grandpa
feet.
was
Yeah,
was
that's
real.
another little kid thing. They just have ringworm all of a sudden. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like, where'd you get that from? And it's like on their fucking temple. And they're like, I don't know.
my grandpa was like real big into like worming the kids, and he would always point out the kids that like would have ringworm. He's like,
he's got
"That's
it."
what happens if you don't worm your kids." And like it was always like the kid that always for some reason had like purple rings under their like eyes and stuff. Like that's because you don't worm your kids.
How do you worm a kid?
It's like a pill you take.
Yeah.
You know, like dogs.
Yeah, with dogs. Basically, you treat a small child the same way you treat a dog, as far as like hygiene is concerned.
Okay.
Maybe bathe the child more, but you know,
Hey,
Maybe.
drop it. Drop it. Just got a dead
No.
bird in her mouth.
No. Right. They poop on the floor. Smell it. Smell it.
Yeah, I got,
Taste it.
I got in trouble at the park. Apparently, you're not supposed to put bark collars on kids. Who knew?
Who knew?
That was for everybody. It's not just me. That's right.
I open carry at the park, so I don't have to talk to any of the other parents.
Oh, but hell yeah.
my mind's eye went straight to just like an AK strapped to your back.
Oh no, it's legal.
Maybe you should read up on the Second Amendment.
This is for my protection, not yours.
I don't know what sickos are here.
Just walk up to a parent. I think your kid took my kid's toy, and you're like, yeah. Here's my wallet. Here's the toy. I'm sorry for all the trouble.
Rue, put that down.
She knows what that means.
Still working on trigger discipline.
It's a little opening bit we got. Some kind of a
Oh,
fun
so-
children's story. Is that right?
Fun little children's story. So for the people who can't see, you should look up What's Up, Tiger with Flaps by Food, or it's about food. Anyways, so
With
this
flaps.
is, it says with flaps.
With flaps. It's a very cute looking
The book comes with flaps, guys.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. It looks like it has more pages than I would anticipate for a kid's book.
It's very fun. So I'm gonna.
never mind. You opened it a little bit. There's only 5.
Yeah, so I'm
I got
gonna.
nervous.
I'm gonna read it to y'all.
Is it hot in here?
Oh shit! There's 6 pages.
No one told me they'd be reading on this podcast.
Which I can do.
Which I can do fine.
Very well.
Fine. I
No
just
double
choose not
takes on
to.
this. So I'm gonna read it to y'all the same way that I read it to Rue. So it's called "What's Up, Tiger," and it's first page. What's up, Bear? I'm cooking soup.
Whoa.
What's up, Zebra? I'm preparing pizza.
Oh.
What's up, Rhino? I'm cooking pumpkin pie.
Doesn't rhyme.
What's up, Tiger? I'm flipping pancakes. What's up, Panda? I'm frying noodles. The book made me lower the bar. I didn't choose it. It chose me.
I didn't expect the racist twist. That's wonderful.
The fact that you were like, that didn't rhyme, I was like, he's going to love the ending.
Oh my god.
Rhinos, pizza, pumpkins. What? And then a panda gets the fucking noodles? Okay.
Oh my god.
It's so funny because none of the other food is culture specific.
So good.
The zebra with the pizza got me because that's clearly like some Nazi shit going on there. They're like, all right, we were in Africa, but we did heavily get backed up by the Italians. All right,
Whoa.
we'll skip that.
No,
We're only
that
one
was
shot
perfect.
in.
No, that reminds me of one of my favorite lines from Come Town, where it's like, "What's a panda? That's just a Chinese bear."
Why do you always shout out Come Town?
It's so good.
It's the only podcast he listens to.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, they're fine,
They're funny.
They're fun.
I like them.
but I mean, there's a lot of good podcasts out there.
You don't have the intellect to handle Come Town.
Oh,
Oh boy, here we go.
that's what it
Here we
is.
go.
Genius.
If you were a real Sigma male, you would understand Come Town. Okay, first of all.
And I'm sending you the heat. Do you even listen to the heat that I send you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Ouch. Ouch. I have feelings, Grant.
For 5,000 years, I've been having gay sex.
See, I'm telling you.
That's the funniest
That's
one.
that's a banger.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
You didn't like the penis one?
It was good.
You mean 45 minutes? Schindler's penis. That was too much. That was
No, that was.
You could have
perfect.
cut that into maybe a fifth of what it actually was. It would have been fine, but
Ooh, I mean, that was really a bit that should have lasted for like 30 seconds. And they made
I'll
it
even
last.
give you like a couple minutes.
That's so generous of you.
I know.
I mean, if as we are all the kings of bits that last a little too long.
That is true.
Says the guys who spent an hour doing bird jokes.
No, we're pretty classy.
They were
guys.
funny though.
They were funny. They were tasteful.
Anyway, Pierce is here to lead us on a epic journey. Another true crime story.
Yes, this is a very true crime story. To preface this,
Hell yeah.
Very true, if anyone's asking.
I'm going to preface this with saying that pedophilia is nothing to joke about. But
Joseph is
but
on
it,
one today.
but it is something you and your friends kid about.
Yeah. Okay. Nice wordplay. Boom. I love it. I love it.
Also, that was my lowering the bar joke
It
number
was
2.
such an opening. I would never joke about fucking kids.
You know, Pierce has
But-
been listening to us in South Carolina probably the entire time that we've been doing this, and he's been He's been ready. He's like,
Dude,
I
I feel like Pierce has been chomping at the bit to lower the bar.
Oh, there's a game?
They encourage this?
I love games.
All right. So we are going to be talking about the Gray Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria, the Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Manic, the Boogeyman, a.k.a. Albert Fish, formerly
Oh
known
my
as
God. Okay.
Hamilton Howard Fish.
Is this one person or one?
This is one person.
Dude,
This guy is so fucked.
You better
up.
fucking strap in for an
Yeah.
Albert Fish episode,
Oh, buddy.
dude.
I'm actually really glad you guys brought this tequila. Okay, let's go.
Actually, I'm
On
gonna
that
pour
note-
myself a little.
Pull it up, Daddy.
All right,
Round
so
two.
while you guys are pouring up, I'm just going to give a little bit of a rundown on his childhood and where he came from. So he was born in 1870 on May 19th. Fun fact, another cool thing that happened in that month, in that year, was one of the primary founders from the American Pentecostal Church was first born. That was William J. Senormum. Pronouncing that wrong. Yes, please. I'll take a shot. Anyways, that was just a fun side note fact. Anyways,
Pentecostals are problematic.
yes.
I was
Which
I
is
was
why
ra-
I wanted to bring that up.
I was raised Pentecostal, and I can tell you, those snake handling fools, they get up to some shenanigans.
So that was a very
Not the
good
good
year
kind.
for the
Did I take
U.S.
it?
No,
about to say,
no. More of the
really-
kind of Albert Fish shenanigans.
We got some gyms that month.
That being said,
Pentecostals.
like if it wasn't for Pentecostals, like where would you get the best YouTube content from? You know, it's like I love watching crazy church people like lurch and flop all over the floor.
Oh,
and
the
like,
speaking in tongues. When the
Yeah.
spirit's got a hold of you.
I really like the dancing ones.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
I saw a faith healing video one time, and this dude's like in a wheelchair, and he like
They kicked him out of it, didn't they?
he like fucking like kind
Shoved
of
him
stood
out.
up, right? So I guess he was like kind of okay, but he like needed the chair clearly.
He could balance well.
He could balance well, and he like gets up a little bit, and the preacher's like in the moment, and he's like waving his arms like a fucking like he's outside a used car dealership, and he fucking just puts his hand on his like on his palm, on his forehead. He's like, "Here, let the spirit of Jesus cause you to walk again. And he pushes the dude, and he just falls right the fuck over. And he falls hard, like he hits the stage, and everyone's just like, and you hear one person go like, "It didn't work." And that's it. Like,
my favorite one's the one with the girl, and she's like, "And I had no sex." And she just like there's like this awkward pause for a second, and then they start playing the music, and she just starts running out of the goddamn church.
So I crumpled him. I punched him square in the chest for Jesus.
Yeah. And then there's the classic, "I ain't gay no more."
Is that Pentecostal?
Yeah, that's a classic.
It's,
Dude.
yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that.
the pray the gay away stuff.
Yeah. I ain't
Upsetting.
gay no more. I like women.
Women. Have you seen the video where like he's like it's just him? It's not at a church, but he's like, I had sex with a woman for the first time, and it was good.
Good.
Like the Campbell noodle soup. I say that to myself all the time. Like the Campbell,
I forgot about the Campbell noodle soup.
like the Campbell, the way he says it, like the Campbell noodle soup. Good.
It's like,
By the way, based on his outfits, he's still gay.
oh, buddy, come on.
Dude, his wife's pussy hair is like cut into a Tom Selleck mustache. He's gay as hell. Like,
Whoa. Watch yourself.
Hey, loving Tom Selleck isn't gay. That's just
oh, I'm
that's just
sorry.
loving Tom Selleck.
That's a blow to a hot topic issue for you guys.
And also, praying the gay away only works if you aren't gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
To praying the gay away.
Pray
To praying
the
the
gay
gay away.
away.
It doesn't work, but we'll do it anyway.
Cheers, I guess.
Cheers.
You're right. You're right there, buddy. Oh, boys.
All right, what else you got for us, Pierce?
All right. Cheers. So he was convicted of only 3 murders, but he says that he has his victim count of upwards of the hundreds. So it's a little bit hazy on like how many people he actually did touch, rape, murder, and kill. But it is most likely in the hundreds. A lot of this stuff is kind of like hearsay, but from what he says that he did, it's pretty much fucking true that it's over 100 people that he's killed. So he was born in Washington, D.C. in 1870 to his mother, Ellen. She was 32, and his dad, who was 75.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
big age gap.
That's a gap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an elderly pop.
I got a dad. He is turning.
He's
turning 62, and he had a kid 5 years ago. So
Oh wow.
I'm
Wow.
kind of, and I know what it's about, but at the same time, that's crazy. 75 for a kid, that's too old. So
I don't even want to know your name.
Yeah, you'll be like 93 when they're 18.
I don't want to get too attached.
his dad never got to see him at 18.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So, question. So, like, you know, like women should be having kids at older ages because they have like a higher rate of what is it, like?
I believe it's over 40 is when it starts to get
Over
risky.
40,
I think so.
yeah.
Just pregnancy issues. we
Yeah.
could say.
Does the same thing happen for like male sperm?
No,
No,
not at all.
No.
We're just pumping straight gas.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Till the
absolutely.
day we die.
If you're an
That's what
entrepreneur,
men-
you're pumping until you die.
That's what men would put on this earth to do.
Motherfucking Brigham Young's brother started an even crazier sect of the Mormon cult. That dude had like, I think it was like 37 children into his 90s. It was nuts.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Womb to tomb, the sperms be doing.
I mean,
Damn.
before culture became civilized. I mean, that's what the male species did. You tried to get as many women impregnate with.
Yeah, but not into the 90s. There weren't guys in the 90s.
You wouldn't last back in the
Yeah,
day.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, this is what the 18 something.
Yeah, this is the 1800s. This is 1870 is when he was born. So this is
Crazy
Still, maybe-
old to like make it to 75.
exactly.
Right.
Let
Yeah.
alone get it on.
Dude, that
with
mean
30
he was born in
something
like the
year
late
olds.
1700s, like the 18th century,
Yeah.
dude. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Do you
So
know how,
he was born in he was born in 1695 then. If it was 1870.
wild.
Did we have electricity back then?
1795.
Like in
Oh
18,
yes, sorry. I've told you I'm bad at
I
math.
think they might have just started talking about it.
like in 1875.
How do you think those Latin bugs work?
Magic.
God magic.
Because I'm sure
You're probably right.
Pentecostal Jesus magic.
I mean, like 1600. That's got to be
Wow,
like
Jesus magic.
that's got to be like witch trials, right? Like when did that happen?
That-
1600s.
Yeah, right in Salem. I went
Yeah.
to the Salem Witch Museum. I should know. It's fucking cool. If any of our listeners get the chance to go to the witch hunt museum in
I've been
Salem,
wanting to, yeah.
there's a giant animatronic Satan that I swear to God,
Yeah.
one day I will make enough money to buy because it's so cool. It's so cheesy.
Let's
It's
go in
awesome.
together, and we'll put it in our front yard.
Oh my god, we should
Fuck
just
yeah.
have a little. We should have a murder trip up to the Salem.
yeah, I'm down.
Or anywhere, really.
Really?
Yeah,
But
I'll bring
okay,
the podcast with
just for
exactly.
reference of like what's going on in that time period, we didn't even get the practical light bulb from Thomas Edison until 1878.
Thomas Edison stole all of his
He did steal all
inventions.
his shit. He's a fuckhead. But nonetheless, I'm just saying a place and time. Like
Yeah.
the places where in history, this guy is born when the light bulb is born, essentially.
Around then, yes. So his family suffers from a lot of mental illness. His uncle had mania. His brother was locked up in a mental hospital his entire life. His
Not fun back in those days.
yeah, not fun at all. Another one of his half brothers
Only
had
one kind of sandwich. That's really sad.
Egg salad again.
You know I'm crazy, right? I'll lose my mind again.
Great, another bread sandwich.
It's only 2 pieces this time.
Yeah, sure. Inject me with cocaine so I can go jerk off again.
I hate Mondays.
That's all I got. I hate Mondays.
The doctor's like, is someone having a case of the Mondays?
No, I'm having a case of the bread sandwich.
But I do have an idea for a comic strip about a big cat that loves lasagna. It hates Mondays.
That's not working. Go ahead and shock him again, boys.
Well, that's clearly garbage. Shock him again.
So again, Joseph pointed on this on a last podcast. His sister was diagnosed with a quote unquote mental affliction and spent the rest of her life in a mental hospital as well. So again, she was probably just being like, yeah, pick up your shoes, man. They're in the way. And then send her out, get her to the hospital.
What's this lady talking? What's this lady talking for?
Joseph, which sister of yours are we talking about here?
Oh, no. He would.
We don't talk about her anymore. She had opinions.
So
Silly thing.
his parents had 3
I think
kids.
women should vote. Whoosh. Whoosh.
Don't say that so loud.
Crank up the amperage there, boys.
Oh yeah, we're gonna send you off to this camp. Be a good fun girl camp.
You having trouble concentrating?
Yeah. What happened to your sister? We sent her to a farm upstate. She's real happy. A lot of room to run around. A lot of dishes to do.
Dishes for days.
Yeah, they just got her up there choring.
God damn it.
It is a verb. So he was born as the 4th kid. His parents already had 3 kids. His dad died of a heart attack when he was 5. So his mother, already having 3 kids and a 5-year-old, decided to give him away to an orphanage, where in his words, that's where I got started wrong. He doesn't have a Southern accent. I'm just making him sound different than my normal voice. So he was physically and mentally abused, beaten and whipped both by staff and the other kids. He started to get erections and became aroused when the staff would whip and beat him. So the other kids,
I get it.
yeah, right? So the other kids would start calling him names and giving him so much shit about it that they gave him a nickname called Ham and Eggs, poking at his original birth name, which is Hamilton, and then fish have eggs, so it's fish, ham and eggs is what they call
That's
it.
a stretch.
That's
it's
really
it's a very stretch, but this is
Kind of clever
it's
for
1800s, very
right.
clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1800s
Oh, your
orphanage.
name was Hamilton.
In
Come on.
Washington,
And
D.C.
your last name is
Yeah.
Fish.
have eggs.
Fish
You're like,
have
how do
eggs.
you know that?
I'm going to call you Ham and Eggs.
Hang on. So his dad gets a heart attack, most likely from trying to pipe down his wife.
Trying for kid number 8
At
or whatever.
77, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Wait,
keep
sorry.
it rolling.
It's hard. We've only got a few minutes. Come here.
Like he goes to a doc and the doc's he's like, I can't get it hard, doc. And the doc's like, have you
you're
tried
80.
opium and cocaine? And it's like, I haven't yet, but I'll do it tomorrow. But so like you said, like how did he get into the orphanage? His mom.
His mom had 3 kids already, and her husband died. So she was like, fuck, I can take care of 3, but this 4th one is young, and I can't do it. So she gave him up.
He gets boners all the time when I yell at him. every time
So
I
she
wipe
his
his
diaper, he
She
gets
picked her
hard.
least favorite kid and was like, you gotta go.
He's got like an adult-sized penis. It's very obvious that he's hard.
She just Survivor Island the kid.
So
You're the least liked of us.
you're the newest one. Get the fuck out.
Baby with an adult-sized dog.
Pulls up to the orphanage. I'll be right back. Okay, don't freak out. Mommy will be right back.
So you know how you get hard when you get hit? They do a lot of that. in there.
You're gonna love it.
You're going to love it.
You're welcome.
So he would run away, and he would be frequently caught and brought back. So it kind of seemed like he enjoyed it. He would run away, but not far enough to
Oh,
escape.
he's playing a game.
Yeah, so he kind of like was like, come touch me, come get me. Yeah, he claimed that this is where he learned the ins and out of masturbation and other sex games, mostly sadomasochistic games. The other kids, I already talked about that. Yep, I already talked about that too. His mom got a better job and was able to get him out of the orphanage. So
She
he
got him back?
She got him back.
What?
Yes.
You're not mad at mommy, are you?
Yeah. So I was going through a hard time.
And in case you're worried, she's
Hey,
a
I got this
wonderful
letter
mother.
from the orphanage.
Yeah.
They say you
Seriously.
get too many
The best
boners.
But I mean, to be honest, back in this time, like she didn't have the means, so she was like, "Fuck, like I need to like give him up to be able to do something." She got a better job and then went back for her son.
I mean,
so for playing the devil's
admirable.
advocate, like
Yeah.
That's admirable.
I'm not faulting her necessarily for giving away this little weirdo, but like honestly, if I did that, I wouldn't come back.
and also like, how many other families have like 9 fucking kids? You're gonna give up on 4?
I mean, in those days,
Come on.
in those
Like-
days, a lot of people had 9 kids.
That's what I'm saying. You're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh, 4 is too much." Like Sally and everybody else down the road has like, there's 15 kids on my block.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
My grandfather was one of 12. I mean, come on. You know.
12?
4 is too
Yeah.
much. You're going to the orphanage.
They were
kid.
farmers.
Oh. Yeah. Labor.
So allegedly at 12, he started a relationship with a telegraph boy who taught him the ins and outs of, does anybody know what these words mean? Urolagnia and coprophagia.
I think the second one is eating poop.
Oh, Joseph gets 10 points.
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm hitting his vape.
The first one has to do with pee-pee, I believe.
Ooh, two
First
for
one-
two.
This does sound like pee-pee stuff.
So,
I assume it's horrific.
yes, that is, in layman's terms, the eating
Disgusting.
and consumption of human pee-pee and poo-poo. So,
Oh, and a 12-year-old
At-
page boy is teaching him this?
so he learned the ins and outs of masturbation and sadomasochism. So he already kind of liked like the raunchy, dirty, like
he's into
hit
the
me
bad
side.
stuff,
So then
yeah.
he was like, oh, like, what? This is cool. This comes from those areas. Enjoyed it enough to keep doing it. So he really liked that.
How old is he now?
So he's 12 at this point.
Goodness gracious.
So he's sucking peanuts out of the chili ring.
If Grant, would you like to grab the notes?
Yeah, do you have his-
graphic.
So I got some notes here, but it's for our viewers who are watching on the video that we have. We don't
Right,
have one.
we do not.
So there is
The mental video.
We have
after.
we have construction paper scribbled with the works of a psychotic person.
So Albert Fish, aka all of his names, Crazy Mom Dad, also no money, crazy.
Okay.
Adoption house,
Got
got
it.
money back,
okay,
got him back. He likes to eat poop and drink pee.
did Rue do this for you?
Oh yeah, she helped.
Okay,
So
It would have never gotten done if Rue wouldn't help.
so after he found out that he liked poop and pee,
also, is she okay?
she is fantastic.
Okay,
She's the most sweetest angel in the whole world.
He took a very bad fall from a tree, leaving him with a constant dizziness, a vocal stutter, horrible daydreams, daymares, and severe headaches.
That would be my luck. Just getting hit in the head one day and then I'm just like, hey, guys.
Are you okay? It's fine.
That was a tree.
Also, daymares? That sounds
Can you
awful.
poop for me?
Honestly, Austin, I think your worst nightmare is that happening to you and us all
Living
treating you the exact same as we had before. Sorry, I'm so weird now. It's like, Austin, I don't notice any difference. Oh, no!
So after the horrific childhood
Fuck you guys.
and the fall from the tree, he was also known to be a prolific bedwetter. So he wetted the bed a lot.
Yes. We're hitting so
Sign
many
number
of the-
one.
Yes.
Got the quad.
That's a sign number one.
Also,
That's
Again.
sign number one to you.
Dude, we're like sign number six.
Hold on. Do we remember the Arthur Shawcross episode?
We
I
do.
remember.
I'm
yes,
saying,
no,
but
I'm saying
And
there's fucked up childhood,
Uh-huh.
mental problems in the family, fell from a tree,
3,
Brain
wets
damage.
the bed,
Wets
Well,
the bed.
yeah, you're-
Weird
look,
masturbating.
what I'm saying is,
weird
yeah,
mess,
we're-
and eats poop and pee.
what I'm
And eats
saying
poop
is,
and pee.
is
5 and 6. Yeah, we're there.
We're not even
We got the
we're not even
sexfecta.
through the first page, so it does not get better.
if we remember the Arthur
Oh, he doesn't turn it
Shawcross
around?
fight,
He doesn't pray the gay away.
if you remember the Arthur Shawcross episode, we talked about how bedwetting,
Yeah.
arson, and then there was one more, was like a tall tale sign that you were likely a
Killing and raping animals.
psychopath.
Yeah, the animals
Torturing
one
animals
big.
is one.
Yeah,
Head
but-
trauma.
torturing animals.
Head trauma is another
those are the
one.
three.
Yeah.
It's bedwetting, arson, and animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, head traumas.
there's more. But
There's a bunch.
Pierce brought up the first 5. I'm saying we all kind of agreed. We're on number 6, and you're like, oh, hang on, that's the first one.
All right, whatever.
I do like Austin hearing everything, and then he hears that last one. He's like, wait, hold on a second.
Wait, you pissed the bed?
Bedwetting?
Bedwetting. He might be
Detective
a
Austin
killer.
is on the case.
Detective Austin puts on his pork pie hat. Do you need me?
So he also, one of his favorite texts was Edgar Allan Poe's The Pit and the Pendulum
Oh, that's a good one.
at
a good one.
12.
That's alarming.
I read it when I
Yes.
was 12. Well, that's not necessarily a good
He
thing.
was also known
Yeah.
to
We've all
carry
worried
around
about you, Joseph.
He was also known to carry around newspaper clippings of horrific killings and accidents that happened in his pockets at all times.
That's weird.
Kind of like how we do now with our phones and our podcasts.
Right.
And we're
like,
always
so
listening
what?
to murder.
So 2 and 3 now, right?
This is like almost 10. All right. So this is where it starts getting.
Fuck you guys.
This is where it gets juicy. Austin, you're correct. I love you. Yes. So he moves to New York.
Pierce feels bad for you. That's what that is. Anyway, keep going, Pierce.
So he moves to New York, the Big Apple. I drew it on the piece.
The big.
You drew a big apple.
I'm so sorry. Real fast. We're gonna take pictures of all these and
We have to.
put them up because they are awesome.
They're going to be on the
Continue, please.
Instagram because you guys deserve to see these notes.
That you got to join the Patreon if you want to see the 5th page.
Ooh.
So-
Thinking over here.
He moved to New York City in his 20s. The year was 1890. He found work as a prostitute and in a bathhouse so he could watch young boys as they undress.
He found work as a prostitute.
He found it. Stumbled upon it.
Austin, why are you?
I got this man-sized dick and this juicy butthole.
I think when people,
Maybe I can make money.
I think when people think of prostitutes, they don't think of men.
Well, maybe we need to rearrange our way of thinking.
I mean,
Austin,
yeah, but maybe now, but not in the fucking.
there were gay people in the 1890s.
I'm not saying they're not.
This is
I'm not saying
this
they're
is
not.
the second time you were
He saw
blown away
gay
that there are
porn,
gay people before
I'm
then
not
he started
1980.
saying that there wasn't. I'm not saying that there wasn't.
We all know
I
homosexuality
am not
was invented
saying
by
that
the
in
Reagan.
1980s.
I'm not
spread.
saying that there wasn't, but I'm just saying that people, when they typically think about prostitutes, they think about women.
Well, you're straight. You would.
Oh my god. Whatever. I know I'm right. You guys are fucking assholes.
Well, he had a very big
Just
one.
Austin goes to his coworkers tomorrow. Did you know there were gay prostitutes in the 1890s? Like, yeah. Just gonna assume that it's always been like that.
What?
Do you know there were gay people in the 1800s?
For our goddamn fellow goddamn fucking listeners, I know that they've been gay people since the dawn of time. Okay, but that's like they just don't.
In fact, Austin's ancestor was the first gay caveman.
Probably.
It's just Austin in like a tiger cloth loin, like pelt.
Same mustache.
I'm gonna
Same mustache, exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna unga in your bunga.
Wet ass bunga.
Right.
Oh, dear God. Okay. Back on track.
All right. So he claims that he raped at least 100 young boys in his lifetime.
Hell of a claim.
No older than the age of 6. Again,
Jesus Christ.
this has never been confirmed, but from the things that he has said and the things that he has done and been convicted of, it's pretty
on
like
par.
99% that he's not lying about that.
This might be a good point to check in with the listeners and say, I don't think it's going to get better from here. So if you're not down, you might want to.
Yeah, you might want to bounce.
Yeah.
So this is going to piss Jamie off, but in the year 1898, his mom arranged a marriage for him to a woman 9 years younger than he was. Her name was Anna.
She was a 9 too.
She was a 9.
crazy.
Oh, that was a great.
It's crazy.
That was a great lower the bar joke. God
So-
damn it! That should have been mine. You fucker.
So for his
She's
bachelor
9
party,
years old. She was a 9. Ugh, fuck you.
quick wit, I like it. So for his bachelor party, his male lover took him to a wax museum that had a medical display of a bisection of a penis. Joseph, would you be able to
Oh boy.
point out what that thing down in the bottom right corner is?
It looks like a split in half triangle.
It's a penis cut from the head to the shaft.
Yeah, it
to the base, all the way down.
even just this little drawing is like upsetting.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable now.
What's more upsetting is the words next to it. Saw penis. Oof. I can't read that.
Yeah.
Cut in half like
oh.
this.
Oh, I see.
Yes, it's
No, I speak hieroglyphics. Don't worry.
you speak Pierce.
I do.
Actually,
I'm very
Joseph has
fluent in
worse
Pierce.
penmanship than you do, Pierce.
Whoa. Maybe. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking maybe.
It's slightly cursive and a lot of laziness.
Your W looks exactly like mine. And the P. You know what? Yeah, I see it now.
So after seeing this bisected penis, it gave him tingles that he have never felt before.
This gave him tingles.
I don't like the way you said tingles.
He really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He visualized and thought about this shit all the fucking time. So in the 8 years that he was in New York, he became a house painter. So for a few years after the marriage, he took a break from raping children and he got his wife pregnant 6 times.
Oh, I need a break. Babe!
These kids aren't doing it for me, sweetheart. Fucked
So
up.
I want kids of my own.
Could you
So-
scream about the Teletubbies while we do this?
Hang on. So he stops his prostitution run.
So after he gets married to
Look,
his,
there might have been gays in the 1600s, but there were definitely no Teletubbies. All right.
You're right.
There might have been gays.
There might-
so yes, he gets married, forcefully married to his wife. So for those 8 years, he becomes a house painter. So he kind of learns how to paint houses, and he has 6 kids.
He has 6 kids.
Well, his wife had 6 kids.
well,
Yes.
still, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He did not have 6 kids because
right.
men can't have children.
Very
Since
good, Austin.
the 1600s. Well, I know. It
you
seems,
could if you had a. if
seems
you were
like
a
the
man with a
lines have been
womb.
pretty blurred lately.
If you were a man with a womb, you.
That's
can
why you got to
babies.
read between the lines. But in 1903, he was arrested of grand larceny, and he spent 16 months in the notorious Sing Sing prison in New York.
Sing Sing in the fucking 1800s.
Exactly.
Must
He
have
only
sucked.
he spent 16 months there, so he got out. Again, probably got raped and did a lot of raping while he was in there. He was a house painter, which led him to travel a lot for work. Was his 12th red
Yeah,
flag?
seriously.
Yeah.
I lost count. Yeah.
So allowing him to not be in the same place for a very long time and in the house with the children, he would pay some of the boys to go along with his actions. And if they didn't go along, he would forcefully rape them. So he would go into homes, he would paint the upstairs while the kids were home, and he'd be like, yo, I'll give you $10, suck my dick. And if they're like, sure, then it would happen. And if it didn't, it would happen.
Well, guess what? You're doing it anyway.
Fucking scary shit.
How much lead do you think was in this paint?
He's drinking.
He's drinking. I'm not excusing. I'm just saying. Like, I'm
Don't
curious.
call me the gray man for nothing.
I mean, if he's drinking piss and eating pee, like I'm sure the paint's like,
Paint's just the next step. Yeah.
yeah.
That's true. I mean, if you're already eating Dukes, like sipping on some paint ain't that crazy.
I'm eating the 3 basic food groups.
So this
Paint,
is
piss, and poop.
you guys are gonna have to strap in for this
three
next part.
3 P's.
So
Ugh.
he claims that he has raped and abused boys all up and down the East Coast, but one case in Delaware stands out among them all. I'm gonna talk about a few killings in this podcast, but this one is the worst and by far the most graphic. He details it in a book. I'll talk about it later. This is all paraphrased, so this is exactly his words, but I'm not saying all of his words. This is about a page and a half worth, maybe like 3 pages of his words. It's very graphic. So if you don't like to hear about weird shit, fucking skip past this. If you guys want to like take a second, it's gonna be deep, and I'm gonna need
I was
y'all.
going to say, Joseph's already grabbing the tequila bottle.
If you guys want to interrupt me, like stick your hand up so I can pause and keep where I am, because there's a lot, and we're gonna go through it, but just let me read through it. And if you want to stop me, we'll stop. But it'll be better to talk about it if you just let me get through all of it first.
Yeah, we'll let you do your thing.
Okay, so we're gonna do shots.
And that's
Go
coming.
ahead.
And that's coming from me, baby.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Go ahead, sir.
I'm the king of interrupting.
Hang on. Let's whip this
No,
shot.
I feel like let's rip this real quick because I feel like we're gonna need it.
And also, I might take like some pauses in between this, just because it's a lot of words
To put away your erection.
because I'm going to be rubbing it over here.
I kind
guys
of
can
hold it
see
in my
that?
pocket tonight. Pierce, would you like one? I'm
Just
pouring
tuck it
you
into the
one.
waistband. That's the trick.
That is the
Why
trick.
are you wiggling all the
That's-
time? Albert Fish taught me some stuff. They didn't have waistbands in the 1800s, Pierce, but they did have gays.
I know what you're
Lower in
thinking.
the bar.
Gays without waistbands.
Gays without waistbands.
That's a album cover.
All right.
Cheers.
Tink.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clinkety clinkety.
Pierce, I'm so glad you're here.
Boom, Austin, Jamie.
I am so glad you're here, Pierce. For those who don't know, Pierce has been in it for a while. He is like old school homie type.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
ride or die. And like
We were writing comedy before Trash Rolls.
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah,
Pierce
we
has
were.
been in it, and like it's a pleasure to have him here. And so I just want y'all to bear that in mind as we listen to What we're about to
What we're
listen
about
to.
to listen to.
Yes. Yes. All right. I found a young boy, 19, who had a slight mental problem and could have passed as 16. He ran away from home in Arkansas due to whippings by his stepdad. He had a pretty face, kind of looked like a girl. Someone told him that he could find work out here. When he made his way out to Wilmington, he was told no more work needed. He was silly in his actions and his ways, strong as an ox, but was easy as a boy of 10 to switch. He made his way in a boxcar, getting raped by hobos day and night. They used him so much that his butt hurt when he walked. He was beautiful, but covered from neck to shin with long black hair. You could hardly see his dicky or his behind from hair. I'm like I said, there's going to be a lot of editing. I'm going to take some time to read this. It's a lot. I took him with me to a place where I get my meals. Oh, how he did eat. I took him to my room, just how I wanted. I knew that he was lousy due to his itching. I threw his clothes out and I drew him a bath. I made him get in. I made him sit in the bathtub on his behind while I went to the store. I got powdered hair remover and I cut off his long hair. Then I made a paste with the hair remover and smothered him in it. After washing him good, every hair fell off. Now he was really naked. And how pretty he looked. Nice big dicky and a fat behind. I loved him and I kissed him all over. Then the fun began.
So much before.
Oh my goodness. He fucking nared him?
Yeah. Yeah. He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize they had fucking Nair back
Oh,
then.
no, it wasn't
Yeah.
there. It was just like
Well, sure.
chlorine.
Chemicals.
Yeah, it's probably some fucking it probably
point.
ate away at his top layer of skin too.
Good
Jesus.
point. Good point.
He was beautiful, naked, and red.
Looked like Danny DeVito in that fucking where he shaves.
I
off.
want to be clean.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's fucking no eyebrows. All right.
All right. It was a warm night, so I went out for ice cream. We ate about half of a pint. Then I stripped him naked and got in bed. He kissed me on my mouth many times, then on my dicky and behind. I put the ice cream in his behind and all over his dicky. Then I licked it off.
Call that a Sleepy Joe.
I thought it was a sloppy Joe.
Bazinga. Bazinga, mama.
So they're having a good time.
Yes. So hold on. So I put the ice cream in his behind and all over his dicky and licked it off. He done the same with me. Yes. I whipped and spanked his ass till it was red as a tomato with my hairbrush.
Hang on. He said it was a hot, warm night.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
In Delaware.
ice cream's pretty
We're in
good.
Delaware.
It's like on a hot summer day. You know how like ice cream, like, oh, this is just hitting me. Bet up the culo. I bet that feels good. I bet that's very relaxing.
It sounds like they were taking a rocky road.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Is this where Ben and Jerry's got all their names from?
Fish food.
I'm sorry.
Oh, gross. Oh, shit.
You mind if I butter your pecan?
So I know you said not to interrupt, but I'm going to throw this in and work this into the
Oh yeah, I'm
podcast
not
as much
supposed
as
to
you
be
want.
interrupting.
But I learned this phrase from a coworker yesterday, where they said like someone was pissing them off, and they were like, "Man, that person was just and it was a gay dude. He just goes, "Man, she was just fucking working my hole," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Did you just say that?" Like when I think about it, and it's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I'm stealing that." And it's like, "Steal away." I got that from another coworker years ago.
Working my hole.
Yeah, I like it.
So I'm saying, I think we can work that into the for this podcast, because that guy is working his hole, in a good way right now, at least
With ice cream.
with ice cream. I actually work my hole with ice cream. That's a.
I don't know, man. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Ice
So-
cream, you scream. We all feel really bad right now.
So talking about screaming, he would make him scream out, "Ouch, Papa." Then it was his turn to be Papa. I was his bad boy, and I made number 2 in my pants. He gave me a bath, sat on the side of my bed, and spanked me and made me say I wouldn't go number 2 in my pants. We played all night, sucking each other off. Then I took Vaseline and smothered it all over his asshole. Put my dickie in his nice little behind.
This is
Why
like
does he use
hours.
Such bad. Those are gross
I
words
know.
for
I
this
know.
context.
I know.
I hate that you said "sucking me off" because I feel like that's such a recent term, but it's not.
Nope. We've been using words for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, like
English has existed
those
for a long
words
time,
specifically, though.
I know. Sucking me out. When I was I'll put this in now. We can do whatever. I got a lot of this from the Murder in America podcast. If you guys are familiar with that,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic podcast. Some of them are iffy, but a lot of them are very good.
Not as good as ours. and
Not as good
definitely
as
not
ours.
as Come Town,
No.
for sure.
Not as funny. They do a lot of serious stuff.
Well,
They cover so much shit about him in there, and I'm skipping over a lot of it because it gets gruesome. And if you guys want more, there's a book written about him. All of this stuff is his words.
Yeah.
What he did. This is horrific.
This might be enough. I think.
Oh
I think
no,
I'm okay.
there's like 2.5 more pages,
we
and then
go.
it gets worse. So, where did I leave off? Okay, he had a large sugar bowl, and it went all the way up. Then
what does that mean?
Good God.
his ass had a very deep butthole.
Fucking
Deep
sugar
butthole.
hole. That's a new term.
Dude.
I like that.
Sugar Bowl comes all the way up.
I like sugar bowl.
yeah.
I'm gonna use that.
I'm not going to tell people where I got it from, but I'm going to use it.
Then he did it to me. We kissed and we slept. This went on for 10 days. I whipped many boys and girls, but they were all gagged and could not make out no cry, which that saying scares me so fucking much. Somebody being like, they didn't make out no cry. It's like, shit, dude, like you've done this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's that. Yes. Okay. You guys are here with me. All right. So
Where's his wife in the 10 days?
home watching the 6 kids.
Damn. Yeah, she's busy.
yeah.
Remember, he traveled for work, so his family's in
Oh,
New
yeah.
York. He traveled to Delaware and met this hobo drifter boy. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to lash and cut and burn nice, big, fat ass like he had. Torture him and hear him scream with pain. I found a farmhouse a mile away from where we'd been staying. It was a bed, a chair with a good door, a lock, and key. I put a chamber in the room for him to use. Then one rainy day, I covered him in a blanket and I took him to the torture room. I made him strip naked and I locked him in. The next day, I didn't go to work and I bought a knife, a box of matches, and alcohol.
I'm not gonna lie. If this was a movie, I'm just gonna fast forward to
You ever
like,
play the game-
last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You ever play the game Weird Things to Buy at Walmart?
Oh, where you buy the strangest things that you can.
Right.
like together. Yeah.
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 That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it? It was a knife.
It was
Matches?
I bought a knife, a box of matches, and alcohol, which I'm guessing is rubbing alcohol because he doesn't talk about drinking or doing any kind of like illicit
Well, he's
substances.
Pentecostal, Pierce. He's not going to
No.
sin in the Lord.
The same year that he was born, somebody else who started the Pentecostal church was born too. So there's no correlation between that. Sorry.
Shame.
Shame, shame, shame. All right. There was a well in the yard. Nice cold water. I filled up a pitcher for him to drink. Then I cut 20 switches from a blackberry bush full of thorns. I brought 2 book straps that were used in school, used them to tie his hands and his feet. My notes. Sorry. I brought 2 book straps, then used them that they used in school to tie his hands and his feet. Then I told him I'm having him. Then I told him I have him right where I want him for the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks. He's tortured this kid for like a month. Jesus.
Then I turned him
Kid
on
seems
his.
to be into it. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, the first 10
The
days.
kid's
were great.
retarded. Sorry for using the R word, but in the beginning of the story, he was
Yeah,
like,
he's
"I found this retarded hobo kid."
Yeah, he's mentally challenged.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, mentally challenged.
I wasn't correcting you for the sake of it. I'm just clarifying that, like, I don't think he really knows what's going on.
Not at all, man. He's out of it.
I really missed that.
I did miss that.
So again, like I said, the more we get through it, then we can go over fucking everything. Because again, bringing it back to third grade, I can't read, can't write, can't spell, but I'm an auditory learner. You can tell me something and I'll fucking,
Sure.
I got you. So then I turned him on his belly and I struck his ass with the switches. I used them one at a time. I would drag them instead of lifting them so they would tear his cheeks. Oh, how he would scream. Oh, how he would scream. It was such music to my ears. Then I spanked him, and how the blood did splatter. Yep. Then I slit his ass between the cheeks, and I sucked the blood.
Oh my God, dude.
Ooh-wee.
You guys can cut me off whenever. I'll stop.
spicy.
No, keep going.
I mean, the sooner you go, the sooner we're done.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Then the next day, I brought candles so I could work in the day and torture him all night. For the next 5 days, all he had was water and whippings. Then I brought him a sandwich and coffee. He was so hungry, I made him eat his number 2 before I fed him.
Ah,
God.
Fuck, man.
I'm drawing the line there.
They were still calling it number 2 back then.
There's more. I tied his feet and his hands above the bed so his ass was facing me. That's where the picture comes in. So hands, feet tied above. So that's the visualization. If you guys couldn't envision that.
It's hard time.
Unfortunately, I haven't. Very clear.
It's in there.
I put a whole pack of needles in his cheeks like a pin cushion.
Acupuncture.
Jesus Christ.
I stuck one in his dicky and 2 in his balls. That was a Saturday night, Austin. From one of the last podcasts. That's a Saturday. Again, I'm trying to bring it back as best as I can. I left him like this all night and went home. The next day, I brought food and peroxide. So he's looking out for this guy. He's not like, just torturing him for no reason.
Left him like a porcupine and then came back with a sandwich. Like,
I got some medicine.
You want a bite?
So another thing that I like to say is he has horrible grammar, but also very good grammar in some ways. So this sentence started off with, pulled the needles out. Pulled the needles out, and how the blood did pour out of his dicky. It was as blue as ink. Poured peroxide on his ass and dick and rubbed him good with Vaseline. Then I let him go to sleep. I jabbed a long needle in his belly to wake him up. The whole day I beat, whipped, and burned his bare ass. To keep him weak, I fed him a tablespoon a day. And he ate most of his number 2. In a short time, we were both doing it. Normally you guys have a lot of commentary, but nobody's saying anything. This is awesome, man. Stay shut the fuck up. Let me speak.
Well, we're trying to just get you to finish, bro.
I'm a slow reader. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
it's never been more evident.
I just need a nap.
No, it's okay. It's just, this is a lot.
This is the only one that I'm reading like this. Everything else will be a lot faster. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry.
We called it peanut butter and number 1 cider.
Sadly, I knew about this guy. I've listened to a couple of podcasts on this, but
You're not an auditory learner, Grant.
I haven't.
It's all in my fucking brain now, man.
The podcast that I listened to just didn't go into detail like this. So continue. This
Okay.
is
Then I poured
horrific.
alcohol. Then I poured alcohol on his ass and dicky and set them on fire.
Whoa!
What the fuck? He made him a baked Alaska.
I clapped and jumped with joy as I heard him scream.
Baked
know how-
Alaska.
You know how You know how the table reacts when you bring a baked Alaska over. Yeah, you clap and yeah, woo, yeah.
Flambe, flambe, flambe. Okay. The alcohol burned off quick. I stripped naked and did a heap of number 2 on his ass. Then I turned him around so he would be full of it. I had some in my behind and I made him lick it out of me till it was clean. When I had him so weak, I was his master. Then I let him play Papa. Made him do everything I did to him, to me.
This was almost 2 months of shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
Also-
I'm guessing. So he said he did this in 2 weeks. So 1 week he did it to him, and then the next week
Yeah.
Albert did it to the kid, and then the next week the kid did it to Albert. So it was not that long of a time, but it was still very fucked
I
up.
mean, fair's fair, I guess.
I was just trying to think of something along those lines. Yeah.
50-50,
I
baby.
mean, I guess do to others as you want done to yourself. I don't know.
This is really a case of the golden rule going wrong.
That is what the good book says.
All right.
The golden rule gone wrong.
And if you guys thought that it got bad, many times I wanted to take cutlets off of his fat ass and roast them. My mouth watered often. I wanted to do the same to his balls and dicky, but I knew if I did, I couldn't be. Sorry, this is a tough one. But I knew if I did, I couldn't torture or be tortured by him. So he wanted to fucking cut off his ass and dick and balls, but he knew if he did, then the kid would be dead and he couldn't be tortured or torture him more.
Sure.
So he
Also,
didn't.
The sex would end.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
I knew we ate over 10 pounds of peanut butter.
Oh, that's
It's not peanut butter, folks. It's not peanut butter, folks.
And a few gallons of cider in the 5 weeks that I had him.
Cider's pee-pee.
These new Reese's suck.
my trauma is in your trauma.
I want the whole Reese's. I want no pieces.
Oh, my God.
My nightmare's in your nightmare.
New egg-shaped Reese's.
All right, so I'm going to ask y'all to not interrupt me for the next 6 lines, and then this is done. This part is done.
Okay.
Okay, thank God.
I played with his dicky till it got hard, and I sliced half of it off. I shall never forget his screams. The blood gushed in a stream. I was planning to kill him, but since it was so hot and I had no ice, I poured cold water and peroxide on the open wound and smothered it in Vaseline and bounded it with a clean handkerchief. I gave him $10 and a kiss, and I told him goodbye.
What the fuck, man? $10?
All right, so back in the
Just kill
1860s, that
him.
was like $50.
But that's at least
Come on.
$100 in that time period.
Here you go, kid. Here's some cash.
All right, quick
peek?
question to the table. Yeah, Pierce, go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead. I want to be here for the table question.
How much money?
For this?
Hang on. Pause. Just
Yeah,
pause
it's a
it because
Just pause it.
He's got a pin.
My mother's name was Susan, and she accused me of being lazy, but they made a lazy Susan, so
That's a great transition.
Yeah.
who's
so
lazy now, Mom?
how much money would I need for someone to do all that to me, and then like?
Do I have to do it to them?
Oh yeah,
Also-
it's back and forth.
It's reciprocal, yeah, for sure.
I'm going to say,
Except for the dicky cut in half and blood
Yeah,
peroxide.
so-
You don't get that part.
okay, so I get up to Dickie cut in half. Which
All the
I
torture
hate.
besides that.
I hate that he calls it a Dickie.
I
by
don't
the
want
way.
that to ever
I
be
hate
said again.
I hate that it's
It
called
upsets
a
me
dickie.
a lot.
If we're talking money, I would say that like it would have to be enough money for like my 4th generation kids to be well
I'm with
off.
you on that.
That's all on
I would
you,
have
though,
to become
man.
I would have to become a Vanderbilt, a Rockefeller.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly,
Cornwall.
I'm with Austin
A
here.
Swift.
Cornwall.
Basically, it's
A Boeing.
enough money
A
to
Boeing.
where I immediately kill myself and my great grandchildren are fine. Like that's
Either-
Why buy a new ass?
Either
first?
that or enough money to where like I could just pay to never see another person for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Howard
I want a
Hughes it.
BBL after
Yeah,
this.
Howard Hughes for real.
Howard Hughes it. Yeah. for
Yeah,
sure.
I would just be like on my personal island, just like playing Warhammer by myself. Just like, I guess money is everything.
Right. and then you'd fart
This
and it
is
sounded
me now.
weird.
Oh yeah, and then I would fart and it would just be like shredded fart.
It'd be the ghost of
You luck out and get a robot butt.
it'd be the ghost of 1,000 sorrows. Just you know.
They're just screams. My farts are just screams now.
Your farts sound like
Okay, I'll
To get a cheese grater lodged in my ass. That's what it sounds
Sadly
like.
enough, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the lowest I want is $50 million, but I do get to kill him.
That's a good
That's-
spin.
that's-
a
yeah.
good
That's good.
spin.
Like
Yeah.
at the end, I'm just like, I want
Yeah.
this to never happen to another person.
You would have saved a lot of. You would have saved
That's
a
what
lot
I'm
of innocent
thinking, like-
children.
A lot
Also-
of boys' lives.
How would you kill him,
I don't want any more pain in this, so I'm just gonna like
dude?
bullet to the
cap-
brain.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly where I'm at.
Like
Just
something simple. Like,
someone
don't-
hands
Because he's
me,
into it.
Yeah, he's into the pain. I don't want him to
No.
enjoy
Someone
it.
hands
I'm
me
gonna
a-
keep punching your face
I
until
would-
it gets soft.
I would tie
Oh,
him
really?
behind
yeah,
it.
that's how I would want to do it.
I would tie him behind a train.
Oh, actually,
And
no.
I would just let him
time
just,
behind a train,
Yeah.
not on the train
That's good.
tracks.
Right.
Like okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I know it's a little early, but you know, like in Futurama, where they have like just the head and like a glass thing,
Yeah.
but they're still alive. If I could do that to him,
Yeah.
because I feel like that would be ultimate torture.
Remove him from his body and all of his sources of pleasure and just forget about him.
Yeah,
Like
And
let
let
him
him
gather
sit
Lock him
dust
in a
on a
cupboard.
shelf.
Yeah.
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 Also, by the way, on Futurama, what a good that's a smart writing staff right there.
Oh my
Dude.
goodness.
To
Yeah.
have heads in a jar in the future, like, come on, that's
Yeah.
just
They didn't.
rife for jokes.
They hired some mathematicians from Harvard to come up with the episode where they all like changed their bodies.
Yeah.
That's right. They
They
wrote
did.
a new mathematical proof
Just to do that
just for
shit.
the
Yeah.
They
episode.
also
yeah.
Crazy
created a
stuff.
language, like Leela's fake language.
Yeah, yeah. I love Futurama.
I've
Personally,
mastered Leela's fake language, by the way.
hot take. I think Futurama's better than
Don't
The
say it.
Simpsons.
Don't say it. You're a fucking bitch.
It is better.
You're
Then what?
both
It's better.
fucking.
Then
Then
what?
it's better than The Simpsons.
Shut the fuck up.
The Simpsons is amazing.
Well, The
It's one of my
Simpsons
favorite
was
shows.
first, so they're good.
So they, I mean, so
But
they
you
got
can
to learn
always
from
have
They
that.
got to
better
stand on the
afterwards.
shoulders of the Simpsons.
So-
to,
Yeah.
and by
but The
they I mean
Simpsons
Matt
has
Groening.
funnier
I mean, come on.
episodes.
I enjoy Futurama more,
But The Simpsons has funnier episodes.
but The Simpsons doesn't have the robot devil.
Yeah.
But The Simpsons have funnier episodes.
But The Simpsons doesn't have Bender.
Yeah, and
But The Simpsons have funny episodes though.
But The Simpsons doesn't have the musical with the robot devil. Where
And the
Fry-
Beastie Boys.
And the Beastie Boys. Let the beat drop. And his head rolls along the
It's a
stage.
visual cue. It's funny.
I'm gonna go.
Nobody.
I know what you. I know what you.
All
I
right.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you, Pierce.
You're wrong. Just on every
Yes.
level.
All right, back to it. We're done with the horrible, right? Did you?
All right, Pierce has to read again.
Saying Futurama is better than.
No. I
getting
enjoy
worse.
it more.
I do enjoy it more.
He said it was better,
I think it's also better.
but saying Futurama is better than The Simpsons is like saying Rick and Morty is better than Futurama. It's like, what the hell are we talking about here?
I wouldn't go that far.
That's a stretch.
That's the stretch.
That's
I'm
a bridge too far.
I wouldn't
Rick and
say.
Morty's really.
I wouldn't
good.
say the stretch.
No,
from-
it
First 3 seasons, you
The-
shut your mouth.
First 3 seasons,
great. Season
Grant,
3,
I got
I
you.
love, but season 4, 5,
it gets
anything
too
it's
like
too
we're the best, and we're gonna do all the sci-fi shit.
Hot take, and I apologize because there might be a little bit of flack about this, but
I'll punch you. I'll
Shut
punch
the
you.
fuck up.
homie that got me too'd, the partner, Dan Harmon's
Justin Roiland.
Strickland?
Justin Roiland.
Is it Roiland? Justin
It's
Roiland.
all.
He got me too'd.
Yeah, he did.
Rick and Morty fell off at that point. It did.
Oh, it was way before
Wow.
that. It was
It's-
Yeah, way
season
before
4.
that.
Season 4 was terrible.
And then they started coming out with like the other shows, like the aliens,
The solar opposite.
Oh,
Opposites,
yeah.
which is
It's okay.
unbelievable, but for the only
It's okay.
the only reason that they have like what's it called when you have like the people they had all the people in the shelf.
That episode.
No,
banged.
it was through the entire season, and it
was
was
a
like
through line.
like snippets, and it was the best fucking plot line of the like.
It
They
was.
should have just wrote the show about that. It was so
Seriously.
much better than
Yeah.
everything else that they
That
did.
was
Well, they
Fuck
did the full
aliens,
episode on that.
but it was like the last episode because
Yeah.
it was doing so well.
But did you know they did that as the last episode, and that was done by an entirely different writer from the rest of the writing staff.
It was
good
actually,
on
yeah.
him because that was gold.
I think it was
was
her.
good.
That was sexist. You said that.
Sure,
Cancel it.
Women can
Good
be
on
I
that.
said sure.
Please,
That's
Jamie.
Sheem.
Good on that human being.
There we go.
Anyways,
Good on people.
Christ, that's not even the worst thing that's been said on this podcast so
the worst
far.
By
thing that's
Austin.
been said this episode.
I was about to say, yeah, this episode.
Blood's as blue as ink.
That's what I meant. I meant this
Yeah,
episode.
think back to that. There you go. All right. So this is where he got out all of his fantasies that he had acquired from that wax museum.
Yeah, this was him at like his most playful. Which
Yes.
sounds fucked up, but like
His peanut butter.
Also, who
No.
derives inspiration from a wax museum?
When he saw the
Weirdos.
bisection of the penis,
Yeah.
he was like, holy fuck.
That's what I
that.
want.
I want to do that, and I want that to be done to me. But crazy shit. So this is where he got out all of those fantasies. But as Albert was feeling so good and so high in his life, something happened.
He had
This
a
is
wife and
the-
6 kids.
This is the what? We're on
What
red
the fuck
flag,
am I doing?
We're on red flag 12.
Yeah.
You're not
So-
a psychopath.
So
Here.
this doesn't spark up a red flag, but it does go back to his childhood and his schizophrenia years. So he is about 35, late 20s, early 30s at this point. His wife leaves him for a man he knew from work that was hiding out in a crawl space in his home.
Hold the fucking front door for me, please.
So going into the whole YouTube of like people hiding in your fucking crawl space and like you
Sure.
just set up cameras and they come down like the squatters, like
Yeah, yeah.
squatters' rights. Fuck squatters' rights.
But also, I mean,
Also, squatters' rights. But if I own the home,
no, I'm with
Fuck
you on that.
squatters.
I'm with you on that. I'm just saying.
don't sleep in the crawl space of my house. But
I'm
if it's
just
an
saying.
empty office building, knock yourself out.
but if it's
100%.
in the Bronx, enjoy it.
Sure. And I'm also saying if somebody just popped out of my crawl space one day, it's like,
No,
oh,
no, no.
hey, sorry, bud. And I'm like, who are you? Where are you
So
from? It's like,
sorry,
I've been here
I'm
for
the
6
guy
months. And I'm like,
piping down your wife when you're
And
out
I'm-
of here.
Also, you're out of jelly.
well, if that happens, that's horrible.
so you guys want to know how he got found?
It's just straight peanut
Yes.
butter.
it's just peanut butter. So Albert was a notorious note taker, and he wrote down a lot of his comings and goings of his earnings. So he knew exactly
sure
how
he
much
did.
money he made and how much money went out.
And how much peanut butter he
And
ate.
how much peanut butter he ate. So he wouldn't account for the peanut butter on the inventory. So he noticed that there was several pounds of meat that was missing from the family home of 6 kids, a wife, and himself. You buy a lot of meat. And then you notice that at least a couple pounds are missing. You're like, hey, what's going on? So one day, Albert followed the family dog as it was winding up to the crawl space and scratching at the door. He opened up the door, and the man on the inside, which he could not see, said, "What do you have for me today?"
What?
That's the
What a
scariest
line.
thing.
The dog was bringing him food?
So the dog was scratching at the door because the dog knew that there was food behind the door because he's been there for so long.
Oh, okay. I'm with
Out
you.
of all the
I'm with you.
people's houses to squat into, this is the worst.
Just bad.
But
You like peanut butter?
crazy enough,
They hit it off and become besties.
he drugged the man downstairs, confronted him with his wife. They had an argument that night. The next day, he took the 6 kids to a movie theater to get their minds off of what just happened.
Okay.
In that time, his wife robbed his whole home of everything, sold it, and skipped town with the guy that she was sleeping with.
Okay, so
Good for
she
her.
knows.
Let's fucking go.
She knows who this dude is.
She knows he's not good and should
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
Good
She
for
may
her.
not have been in the cabin,
But also,
but she knew he's a goddamn monster.
Yeah.
so in his mid 50s, He had a traumatic incident which left from his mental history,
Oh, poor
probably
baby.
triggered his schizophrenia because his wife left him with 6 kids at 50. Which, if you guys know, well, he's not 50. He's 50. He's mid 50s. So he's had psychological trauma in his past. Everything's kind of been going to his plan through his life. And then all of a sudden, his wife leaves him in the house that he created. And now he has 6 kids. His schizophrenia starts to fucking kick in, because if that's what happens, if you have it and if it's in your body and it's in your past bloodline, you could be completely fine.
Yeah.
But until you're like mid 30s, if something happens, car accident, divorce, family member dies that you're
Sadly
close
enough,
to,
that's true, yeah.
it fucking kicks in. So
I never do that. That's crazy.
That is crazy. But
Yeah.
hang on.
also, if you have family members that have or are known to have schizophrenia, do not smoke marijuana, because it might make you feel good now, but it will fucking destroy your brain and allow that schizophrenia. I don't know how the mind works, but it
Well,
allows it to just
Yeah, the
you start to recognize the like the craziness that you have. So if you're like, my neighbor might work for the CIA, you're fine for 20 years,
Yes,
and then your wife leaves, you're like, he's working for the fucking CIA, and I know it.
well, there's
It
studies
can
now.
trigger paranoia, but modern studies do show that like mild psychotropics like marijuana usually actually don't trigger that. It most of the time is associated with a pretty severe like trauma
Okay.
in that person.
That's
so
not true. There's more and more.
they're associated with each other, but
No, there's tons of data that basically says like if you are more like if you're prone to schizophrenia, it
And you
normally
have a
wouldn't
traumatic
show up till
experience.
50-ish, 60-ish. But they're saying like with THC getting to the levels that it's at,
Your
that's the big
paranoia
thing.
will
They're
just,
saying-
you'll just get
fuck.
paranoid
yeah, they're saying
so
that
much.
the THC from like the 80s entirely different.
You
They're
might be
saying the
right
THC
32%.
now it's blasting people that like
Yeah.
would get schizophrenia or Alzheimer's or something along the lines of that.
Sure.
Alzheimer's
Instead
is
of getting
also
at 60, now you're getting it at 30.
diabetes of the brain.
damn, that's scary. Actually.
Stop eating
Yeah.
sugar, y'all.
And they also saying like the THC is like I forget what it's called, but there's like a new disease that's coming about from the THC like being
It's
so high.
Coolness,
Well, they're saying like
being too straight, too cool.
basically
hip.
it just fucks up your body's ability to regulate hunger and then regulate processing food. So like a lot of people like can't stop vomiting
So
unless they find like the correct balance of
Yeah.
THC
Which
in their
it's
system.
been my thing for
must
a
have
long
found
time.
it.
Weed is too damn strong now.
it's not strong. It's not strong enough. You need to
I
make it
miss-
stronger and give it to me. Send
Dude,
it to
I
Pierce.
miss the beasters,
My address
baby.
is
I miss the mids. I miss the
I-
sound.
Right? I
I'm
spent
happy
so
with the
much
mids.
money on mids. Fuck mids, bro.
But hang on.
Dro.
More importantly, we got to point out his wife. If she was able to pull off this thing in one day, she's been thinking about it and planning
Oh,
it
she
for
had a
years.
plan in motion for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, she was just like one day, like, she was just like, everything's working out. I'm getting dick down. He's got a nice crawl space. Everything's working out fine. And she's just like, I'm
a
just
nice
going to
crawl
ride
space
it
for my
out for right
bow.
now. But when things go belly up, I'm going to make sure I can sell everything. We can skip town. And then this happened. And she was like, well, I wasn't planning this for another 5 years, but I'm glad I got it lined up.
I mean, good for her, dude. Honestly, being married to this motherfucker, you got to have an escape plan.
All right. So the escape plan for him, segue, he started to get into religion a lot harder than he already was. He wanted to wash himself of all of his sins and be reborn through pain and sacrifice. He was
Not through pain. That's the last thing I want him to do.
He's doubling down.
also, he was obsessed with needles.
Oh,
Yeah, he was.
Oh my god!
So he started sticking them underneath his fingernails.
Uh,
But this would cause him too much pain, so he stopped.
and then he put him where? Because I do know this.
No. Yes.
we're getting there.
So he would hear voices that he thought were God telling him in twist way. He would hear voices that he thought was God talking to him, and he would twist them into scriptures of his own, like, quote, happy is he who takes the little ones and dashes their heads against the stones.
Ugh.
Jesus.
It's Game of Thrones shit.
Yeah. As the delusions led on, he started to rape and mutilate more boys, thinking that this was what God wanted him to do.
Oh boy.
He beat and raped young boys and stuck them and stuck needles in them. Allegedly, he hired a young girl to bring him the boys. So along his sadistic path, he was like, hey, like, I can't find any of these young boys. I'll give you some money to kind of like bring the little kids around, which is
Jesus
fucked
Christ.
up.
Was her name Mislaine Gaswell?
Could have been
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine.
Well, Ghislaine brought the girls. Mislaine brings the boys.
Oh, nice. I see what you're going for. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So he had to move around a lot due to his accused. Anybody? The allegations that he.
Pedophilia?
Exactly. He touched and abused a lot of children, so he had to keep fucking moving.
Joseph's in it.
Boom. Joseph's
Don't say it
listening.
like that. Don't say it like that.
Not into, just in it.
I'm paying attention.
He also thought that he needed to torture himself, so he would stick needles in his groin and his abdomen.
Dude, you could just stop and you wouldn't have to do all this.
He would also stick clumps of wool soaked in rubbing alcohol in his anus and light them on fire. Along with that, he started to fantasize about cannibalism more and more.
You gotta light it on fire. You get the
By the way,
wax out.
correct me if I'm wrong, but he left the needles in, correct?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, shut up, Grant.
What? I'm propelling it forward, I think.
You are.
So he would eat and force his children to eat raw meat. He would also force his children to paddle him. If you guys want to look it up, I don't have internet right now, but if you guys want to look it up, it looks like a badminton paddle made out of wood with like 9-inch nails screwed into the fucking head.
What?
It is the great.
I don't want to see that.
Albert
Pass.
Fitch's torture device. It is fucking insane. And the only pictures that you could find on the internet, the paddle looks like it's broken at the hinge. So it's like they found the actual paddle that he was been paddled with. Like it's not a straight paddle. It's kind of like bent. So it's like he got beat with it.
It's not fresh. It's used.
He thought that he needed to be tortured by himself, so he would stick needles into his abdomen. He would also stick clumps of blah, 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 blah. Along with that, he started, I'm sorry, I'm reading a lot of this. Strangely, he was never accused of touching his own children inappropriately, even though he would have them beat him. And at one point, he was thinking about sacrificing his son to God, but he never did. So he never raped, hurt, or tortured any of his own children. He only did it to other kids who he thought deserved it more.
Yay.
Because God told him.
So his wife bails with Homie in the crawl space.
Leaves the kids.
Leaves the kids behind. And now he's a single father taking care of 6 children.
At 50, schizophrenic and with a horrible childhood.
And the most fucked up dude that we've heard about today, at least. That's insane. Honestly. The fact that he's keeping it together in this weird way is baffling to me, psychologically speaking.
How is he making money at this point? Is that?
Oh, he's a house painter.
He's still
painting houses.
he's still
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah, he's still painting houses.
He's
Still
still
raping, still painting.
He's still squeezing in time to like.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
got to make money.
I mean,
You got to make money, but you ain't got to rape the kids.
dude, I got a lawn care company and
Bring out
2
the paddle.
podcasts.
Ah, shit, I got 20 minutes. I gotta
It's
go.
like, listen, I did like 12 lawns today and I killed 3 women. So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I find the time.
If you want it, you'll find time.
It's really, if it's important to you, you'll make time.
By the way, I thought about it.
Just wake up, rise and grind, baby.
Rise and grind. My lawn care landscaping company would be the perfect front for dealing drugs. I go to people's houses all day.
All
every
the
day.
time.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, how good would that be?
Stop talking.
I haven't done it yet.
I got a business proposition. Stop talking. So he was also known to always wear a gray suit with a tie and a mustache. In 1924,
The tie had a mustache.
he had a mustache.
The
and a
tie.
tie.
The tie had a mustache.
Alright,
It was a tie mustache.
Okay, sweet.
See what's on too. Boom, lower the bar. So in 1924,
Just make you look bad, Austin. I don't know if you're gonna do anything today. But
I'm not gonna say another word.
I've been doing pull-ups, baby, all below the bar. So in 1924, he set out to kill. He carried his tool bag with him, but not for work, for killing.
It's my kill bag.
In that bag, he had a small handsaw, a butcher's knife, and a meat cleaver. He was walking down the street talking to himself because he's fucking insane. And he was noticed by a mom and their son on their porch. So the mom and the son were like, well, that fucking guy we've never seen before is crazy walking through our house or walking through the neighborhood. Later in that day, the kid never came home. Witnesses say that they saw the kid walking into the woods with a man with a gray suit and a mustache. A search party was put together later that night. The boy's body was found hanging from his suspenders in the woods, sexually assaulted, and his hamstring was pulled out of his left leg.
Jesus Christ.
Albert claims that he planned on castrating the boy, but left when he heard people approaching. The mother reached out to the media and told them about the gray man that she saw. She said she saw a gray man, and that's where he got the nickname, the Gray Man. So hasn't gotten a nickname until now, but this is still a killer that nobody knows about. People have gone missing, and boom, now they have the Gray Man. So upstate New York, up northeast United States, there's like the Gray Man that's going around. Albert claims that he planned on... In 1972, he set out to get another victim. But this time it was in Brooklyn. They were 3 boys, one 12, one 4, and one 3. They were all playing in the hallway when the 12-year-old left for a second. So he was, to give you back notes, Albert was living in the building that these kids were playing in. So he owned a room in the place that they were staying. The 12-year-old left for a second. When he returned, the 3 and the 4-year-old were gone. Later that night, the 3-year-old was found on the roof of the apartment building saying that the 4-year-old was took by the boogeyman. So the 12-year-old and the 3-year-old were brothers. The 4-year-old was just another kid in the building. Luckily, somehow, the 2 brothers didn't get taken, but the 3-year-old vanished. And then the other kid was like, yo, the boogeyman took him. Witnesses say that they saw an old man with gray hair with a kid get on the trolley, but no one attempted to stop it. They just thought that it was an old man with him on there.
Goddamn. From the same apartment building, too. And the fact that he's like, it seems like he's ramping up his activities, right? So I feel like he's kind of in his berserker stage.
Albert fully explains in his own words, I came home, so he did not rape, but he also killed and ate this kid.
Damn.
In his own words, quote, I came home with my meat. I had the front of his body. I liked it the best. His monkey and his peewee was nice. Sorry, hold on one second.
What's the monkey there?
Hold on.
Because you said Pee-wee after.
Right.
What?
What's the monkey?
All right. So, quote, I came home quote, I came home with my meat. I had the front of his body. I liked it the best. His monkey and his peewees.
Oh,
And his nice little fat
Pluralizing,
behind
helps.
that I roasted in the oven to eat.
Oh my god.
I made a stew out of, quote, I made a stew out of his ears and nose and pieces of his face and belly. Added onions, carrots, turnips, celery, salt and pepper, and some water and flour to make a gravy. In about 2 hours, it was cooked through. I've never eaten a roast turkey that tasted half as good as his sweet little fat behind.
Jesus Lord.
God.
Quote, his little monkey was as sweet as a nut, but his peewees I could not chew, so I threw them in the toilet.
Oh.
In the toilet.
Again, this is taken from another podcast. It goes way further in depth, and I'm trying to keep it short and sweet for you guys.
Jesus Christ.
Because it gets
Make
a lot
it shorter
worse.
and sweeter.
Yeah.
The monkey was so sweet.
Sweet.
He said it, not me. So in 1928, he was looking to kill this farmhand that he found in a paper. So he got a news clipping and there was somebody asking for some work. So he was like, yo, I have a farm. I'm a farmer. Put on this facade and went to this home trying to get work from this young guy. Went to the home. When he arrived, a 10-year-old daughter caught his eye, not the 17-year-old boy that offered for the job. He made up that he had a birthday party that he was attending for his niece and offered to take the 10-year-old with him. The mother reluctantly said no, but let her go with Albert anyway.
What?
Bad instinct.
So Albert took her to his house, he cut her up, and he ate her like the other kids from Brooklyn.
Jesus Christ, is this Hansel and Gretel all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Around 1930s, he started to look for a wife because he's been divorced.
He still got them 6 kids running
And
around.
still got them fucking 6 kids. So by writing obscene letters to women looking for husbands or seeking maid jobs, these are what the letters sounded like. And I'm going to pass this over to Jamie and let him read this letter that Albert Fish would send to women who were reaching out for husbands in the newspaper in the 1930s.
Oh, put the Riz on it.
It's all in quotes, Jamie. And this, if this doesn't get you wet, ladies,
Then you need a new puss.
or an Albert Fish. And I try to spell it all and do it all like grammatically correct so you can read it. And the same thing with yours. I try to make it all.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. It reads, if you were my own dear sweet wife, you would not be afraid of me. You have a nice, purity, fat, sweet ass. I'm a very passionate man. Out in Hollywood, at the clubs, I often hear men say, if they saw a purity woman, if she was mine, I'd drink and eat her number 1 and 2.
That's what they say.
When you strip me naked, you will see what Mrs. HPW would call the perfect form.
Oh.
Yours, the sweet honey of my heart. I can taste your sweet piss, comma, your sweet shit. If you must piss, pee in a glass, and I shall drink every drop of it as you watch me. Tell me when you want to do number 2, and I will take you over my knees and hold my mouth to your sweet ass and eat your sweet peanut butter as it comes out fresh and hot. That's how they do it in Hollywood.
That's in the newspapers?
No, he sent this letter to a woman who is reaching out for a husband or house cleaning in the 1930s. So this was like the ultimate dick pic back then.
Jesus.
Like,
Seriously.
like you just like, let me look at my mail. Like, oh,
That's
what
a
happened?
hinge
I don't know
message
who
right
this is.
there.
God.
Hinge message.
It only needs to work one time, though.
And that's showbiz, baby.
Yeah, that's how they do it in Hollywood. What the fuck? That's crazy.
Oh,
So
God.
to preface, he is insane. So the whole Hollywood talk, he's probably never been there.
Yeah. And he's in New York, right?
And he's in New York. So
Showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz, baby.
in his delusions, he thought that it would be a good idea to keep writing letters to families over the 10 years. Oh, hold on. In his delusions, he thought it would be a good idea to keep writing letters, especially to the family of the 10-year-old girl who he killed.
Jesus Christ.
But being a 1928 farm wife, the woman was illiterate and asked her son to read the letter to her.
Oh my God.
God.
The letter reads, Joseph.
Oh,
Oh, thank
This
God.
is a fun one. Here.
oh, thank you. My dear Mrs. Budd, in 1894, a friend of mine was shipped as a deckhand on the steamer Tacoma, Captain John Davis. They sailed from San Francisco to Hong Kong, China. On arriving there, he and 2 others went ashore and got drunk. When they returned, the boat was gone. At that time, there was a famine in China. Meat of any kind was from $1 to $3 a pound. So great was the suffering among the very poor that all children under 12 were sold to the butchers to be cut up and sold for food to keep others from starving. A boy or girl under 14 was not safe in the street. You could go into any shop and ask for steak, chops, or stew meat. Part of the naked body of a boy or a girl would be brought out and just what you wanted cut from it. A boy or girl's behind, which is the sweetest part of the body, and sold as a veal cutlet, brought the highest price. John stayed there so long he acquired a taste for human flesh. On his return to New York, he stole 2 boys, one aged 7, one aged 11. Took them to his home, stripped them naked, tied them in a closet, then burned everything they had on. Several times, every day and night, he spanked them, tortured them to make their meat good and tender. First, he killed the 11-year-old boy because he had the fattest ass and, of course, the most meat on it. Every part of his body was cooked and eaten except the head.
Of course. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Every part of his body, Grant, was cooked and eaten except head, bones, and guts.
What about head cheese? I mean, come on.
He was roasted in the oven, all of his ass, boiled, broiled, fried, stewed. The little boy was next and went the same way. At that time, I was living at 409 East 100th Street, rear right side. He told me so often how good human flesh was, I made up my mind to taste it. On Sunday, June the 3rd, 1928, I called on you at 406 West 15th Street, brought you pot cheese, strawberries. We had lunch. Grace sat in my lap and kissed me. I made up my mind to eat her. On the pretext of taking her to a party, you said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house in Westchester I had already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I went upstairs and stripped all my clothes off. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her. Then I hid in a closet until she was in the room. When she saw me all naked, she began to cry and tried to run downstairs. I grabbed her, and she said she would tell her mama. First, I stripped her naked. How she did kick, bite, and scratch. I choked her to death, and then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my rooms, cook and eat it. How sweet and tender her little ass was roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not fuck her, though. I could have if I wished. She died a virgin.
Yeah. So
quite a letter.
imagine being a. All right, so I can imagine this, but imagine being an illiterate. But imagine not being able to read, getting a letter in the mail, and then asking your fucking son to read it to you, and that's the letter. After your sister and her daughter have been missing for like years.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. So sending this letter to Mr. Budd or Mrs. Budd was more horrid. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm reading my stuff.
It was horrid.
So
Yeah, right.
sending this to Mrs. Budd was even more horrid due to her being illiterate. She unknowingly asked her son to read it for her. When he sent the letter, he did so on a piece of stationery that he stole from a room that he was boarding in.
So dumb.
Thanks to the amazing detectives in the 1930s.
Detective Austin.
Yes. Blood. Gross. The letter
Clean
was
that up.
The letter was tracked back to the company where an employee said that he stole some of their stationery to write home to family and left some in a boarding home that he was staying in. The next person to go into that boarding house was Albert Fish.
Oh.
Finally.
All ham and eggs.
So
Oh, ham
No,
and
ham
eggs.
and eggs.
The letter was tracked back to Albert, and detectives were able to actually find his name. In police custody, he confessed to everything. He fully admits in detail to the absolute disgusting things that he did in a book called Albert Fish in His Own Words by John Brukowski. So if you guys want to look it up, it's a great book. It's insane. It's sick. And he said, if you do not believe me, bring me a tin cup from the pantry, and I shall eat and drink my own shit and piss. Jesus. To the cops in the interrogation room.
Why is that your proof?
You dare me?
Well, you don't think I killed 100 kids?
You double dog dare me?
I'll do it right now.
You don't think I killed all those kids? Let me have some cider and peanut butter.
Peanut butter. He's got a horrible stutter and he can't pronounce anything.
He does have a horrible stutter. Does that it
he
goes
strikes
away?
me as mentally ill. I don't know about you guys, but I find
I
him
think
to
he's
be
got a screw loose.
So-
mentally ill. So
This is the ending, and it gets so fucking like. Just give me a second to read through this. So, the jury found him clinically insane, but said that from his depravities, he should be sentenced as a sane man.
I'm with that.
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying we should just throw him in a fire. Just call it a day.
yeah.
He was sentenced to death
In a
by the
volcano.
electric chair.
Yeah.
The electric chair.
Yeah.
I
So
think
this was back
volcano.
then when they electrocuted people.
Volcano for sure.
Volcano.
So in his autopsy, they found 29 needles stuck in his ab and groin. Abdomen and groin. So those needles that Grant was talking about earlier, he had in him for like 20 fucking years. Or he would take them out and stick more in. Crazy shit. So in 1936, after
like
a year
pain.
on
Needle
death row,
dick. Needle dick.
Thank you, Austin.
and the bar's lower.
I needed that
It's
actually.
sad. That was a good one.
We really
Oh
need
my
that.
god!
Thank you, Austin.
Seriously.
So in
Watch it, needle dick.
You lost us the game, needle dick.
Gatorade.
give me your bread sandwich, needle dick. So after a year on death row, he was sent to execution by electric chair, where he said that it was the ultimate thrill, the one pain that he has never felt before. he had
God
never
damn
been
it.
electrified.
Wait a just take
See?
the wind out of my sails.
Volcano.
Seriously.
Volcano. Knock him out. Throw him in a volcano.
He
I still think behind
also-
a train.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
Take 'em.
he offered to help the people in the jail cell strap the things onto him to make sure that they were secure and tight and ready to actually electrocute him.
Too
He was
into
ready.
it.
Yes, many doctors were brought in to analyze Albert, both on the defense and the prosecution. His lawyer claimed that he was insane, but one man named Mias Gregory was a former psychological hospital manager from the hospital that Albert was sent to when he was younger.
Okay. There you go.
Says that in Albert's defense, that he says that
We did shock him a lot and beat the shit out of him.
so
That might have been on me. I
mean,
did sexually abuse him a lot. You know
remember-
what? Looking back, I did a lot of bad things to
as
him.
a kid, he was fucked up.
So he testifies that Albert was abnormal yet sane. So Albert's defense, saying that he was insane, asked if somebody practiced urolognia, coprophagia, and pedophilia, how would that person be sane?
Also, the needle dick stuff.
Also the
Yeah.
needle dick. The guy who was a manager of the mental hospital said, in quote, "Some people who partake in these kinds of acts are not mentally sick. These are common perversions which are socially acceptable. Albert is no different than millions of others. Some are very successful and prominent people partaking in these acts daily." This was in the 1930s that we have doctors saying that pedophilia is an acceptable mental illness.
Two things.
For Jeffrey
One-
Epstein, maybe, but I mean,
For
come on.
anybody
Hang on.
who touches kids, I got 16 reasons they
Yeah.
shouldn't do it.
And also,
And
let's
one of
just
those
go
16
kill
are
them.
in the fucking chamber.
I'm just saying, let's go kill them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two things. One, his argument is basically like, listen, we all blow off steam in our own ways. Two, again, it goes back to my thing. I think he definitely abused Albert. Like, it sounds like, it's like one of those
doctor-
things of like
The lady doth protest too much.
yeah, like you're allowed to do whatever to the insane because they are labeled as insane.
They won't
Especially at that
remember.
time.
They don't.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And it
They won't,
sounds
they won't pass it on in their seeds.
Yeah, it definitely sounds as though he did
6
that
seeds later.
to not
I mean,
only
seriously though.
Albert, but he also did that to plenty of others.
Hundreds of kids.
Yeah. And generational trauma is a very real thing.
And
Yeah.
and so I only covered 3 that they were able to actually like pin him with.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the manager.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that
yes.
guy was fucked up.
Yeah, he was fucked up too, man.
I'm saying he did that to him. Like all the perversions that he listed, I think he partook and did that to him. And I think that's
why
what-
he was so like, hey, everything's cool, guys.
yeah.
He's not insane. It's
No,
just
100%.
different.
But I mean, if you think about the time period, the way that institutions like that were ran,
That should be in that jury.
the quote unquote psychologists at the time were pretty demented people. I mean, they were like one step away from like Nazi scientists.
Yeah.
during
Weren't they
that time period?
Nazi scientists?
I mean, a lot of them were actually.
Yeah.
By the time that we're talking about, well, actually, no, that would be.
Well,
This is prior to it. But
This
Well,
is this
also,
is
I
like
mean,
in the like while the Nazi scientists are Nazi scientisting.
that'd be the 50s.
Well,
but,
who
yeah.
did the Nazis look to like for inspiration? They looked at the United States the way
Yeah.
that we handled like
Our medical care.
insane
Our-
asylums
yeah.
and medical care segregation. Like they looked at us and they were like,
They
"Oh
did.
yeah, these guys know what they're doing. We're
Yeah.
going to do the same."
Our psychological care, they actually did take a lot of inspiration from, sadly enough. But if you think about it, someone that gets to that position of power, they really want to be there, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do we all want to do?
Y'all talked about the Pope
Entertain
last
people.
time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you want it, you don't deserve it. Like
Yeah.
you should not get it if that's what you want, because
Right.
your wants never like if you want something, it's for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And if you do something, it's for the right reason.
Yeah.
I'm
you're right.
drunk. But sometimes
I enjoy trying to make people laugh. I really love like writing, playing, creating music, right? I don't necessarily want to be a famous comedian or musician or whatever. It'd be awesome,
yeah.
but I'm not going to do anything
for the outcome.
necessary in order for that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I got my limits. And sticking needles in my dick is...
Anybody got any blue ink to sign off on this podcast?
oh my
Oh,
god!
Jesus Christ!
Hang on. So how did they kill him in the end? Was it the chair?
The electric chair. He was shocked to death.
And he loved it.
I heard, and I don't know if this is accurate. I don't know if this is true, but I heard when they tried to fry him the first time that the electric chair actually shorted because he had so much metal in his body.
I didn't look
I'm
any
laughing.
of that up, but it
But I
But
mean,
it
like
could
for
be
real.
real.
No,
It
like
could
I
be
heard
real.
that was like a thing. That
Really?
like they shocked him and he got shocked and it stopped and they were
Ooh.
like, "Oh, what's up with that?" And he was like, "I'm full of needles." And they were like, "Oh, clank, let's do it again."
he
Let's
also
tie his legs up to the back of the chair.
He-
so how the needles shoot out.
he was so insane that he actually he was asking and helping the people to strap him into the chair, but at the last couple seconds he was asking, "Why am I here?
Oh wow,
Like what the fuck's going
oh,
on?"
that's horrifying.
So it's like he was like, "Yeah, strap it in."
They
put me
shocked
down."
him back into sanity.
What the fuck's happening?
What am I doing?
It
My
was
last
like-
memory was getting raped as a child. What's going on?
I did what?
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a rough one. So I'm sorry to lay that on you guys, but
Pierce, I'll never forget.
Well, Pierce, this was your first podcast, and you came in strong.
You
Yeah,
did.
you came in. You
That was
know-
more murder than schmurder.
That
and
was
I'm
definitely more
fucking-
murder.
Nah,
Yeah,
you schmurdered it up. You lowered the
You
bar.
did
a whole
schmurder
bunch.
it up a lot, but that was a lot of murder too. Damn, Pierce came in hot.
Yeah.
Love
He
it.
did.
Woo!
He did.
First episode.
First, hopefully not the last.
Now we got a second one. We got a second one lined up. Do you think we can?
What?
We got a two for. I have an episode.
Pierce's episode is done. This
We
is
got to
first
wrap up
episode.
Pierce's
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
outro.
All right.
Well, I'm Joseph. Thanks for listening.
I already took my headphones off. I was ready to leave.
Right.
I got shit to do.
This is Austin.
This is Jamie. Let's give something to our listeners, and don't forget to email us at don'temailtrashful@gmail.com. What do you think is today's takeaway?
Yeah.
Don't touch fucking kids because I'll kill you.
That's a good takeaway. I like
And
that one.
I'm actually gonna hop in Pierce's car. Like, we're friends now, and you shoot me a text. You say we got a pedophile to kill. I'm right there for real.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think we're just loading
make
up
it a
in the
group
car.
text.
Like,
Shit,
ooh,
dude.
this
Make it a
sounds
group
like an
text.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Group text would be good.
Yeah.
Don't forget your peanut butter.
Yeah.
And cider for the roads. Or selling gallons.
We were doing good.
Road soda.
You can make it yourself.
Can I get a roadie a piss?
If you need anyone to believe you, I bet if you did say, like, I'll pee in a cup and drink it right now if you want. I feel like you
Did
get
you
away with
steal
anything.
this $100 from my wallet? Give me a fucking can and I'll drink my piss and drink my own shit.
Okay, fine, you didn't.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Swear.
And I'm Grant, and I'm sad for hearing this, but really had a good time.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jamie. Our tracking engineer is Grant. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of